Well, a very warm welcome to the Ed Stadium for this evening's Panorama League Cup tie between Aldershot Town and Brighton and Hove Albion.
5 wins in a row. That's the Albion under-21's form coming into tonight's game against Aldershot Town. It hasn't really mattered the opponent or the context this season. The Seagulls have more often than not found a result. Tonight it's back to National League Cup action, a brand new tournament pitting the country's best academies against its best non-league sides. With 9 goals in their last 3 and just 1 defeat in 11 in all competitions, can this on-fire Albion team continue to spark on Bonfire Night? Well, good afternoon and welcome along to live coverage of Brighton and Hove Albion versus Aldershot Town in the National League Cup. I'm Matt Drabble, your commentator for the evening, and before we get any further, let's have a look at the lineups for both teams. 7 changes for Aldershot from the FA Cup defeat to League 2 Bradford City. Only Magoma, Aaron Jones, Jack Barham and Dan Ellison keep their place. There's plenty of experience among the players coming into the 11 though. Hayley Gandor is a senior Lebanon international and fullback Lachlan Bird has started 13 times in the National League this season. For Shannon Ruth and the Albion, there are 4 changes from the resounding PL2 victory over Southampton. Knight, Slater and Simmons all return outfield, and after yet more first-team exposure, Killian Cahill takes his place in between the sticks. Keep an eye on Duffus, Vickers, Perpion and Eiffel. That 4 have 27 goals between them in all competitions. Well, a new competition for the Albion then, and it got underway a couple of weeks ago against Woking, a game they drew 2-2 against the Cards. A late collapse was a frustrating one for Shannon Ruth that day, and he's described this competition as among the Albion's most important in terms of experience and exposure. Can they grab a hold of this opportunity and put themselves clear at the top of Group A by beating its current leaders, Aldershot Town, and Jamie Mullins gets this National League Cup game underway. Back to Simmons and the Albion back line, and immediately Seagulls closed down by Hayley Gandor. A misty and black overcast sky at the EBB Stadium in Aldershot, and a sprayed ball out wide will immediately give the shots a throw on the left, Ryan Jones to take. Lachlan Bird. Across to Dan Ellison. Stafford Schoof with the echo of fireworks in the distance. Looks long for Jack Barham. Well seen back by Freddie Simmons. Killian Cahill back in goal today, returning in place of Hugo Fisher. It's not been too many games for Killian Cahill to get under his belt so far this season. And it's because mainly he's been involved with the first team. There's plenty of other Albion goalkeepers out on loan. Penman. Now Simmons, an England Youth International. Up the line by Slater. Albion enjoying plenty of early possession, but Aldershot holding a firm shape at the moment. Jamie Mullins able to turn. Now a chance perhaps to get at the shots. It's a long diagonal, looking for the run of Eiffel. Steps past Jones to an overlapping Vickers, who will cut and field right-footed, laid off to the edge of the 18-yard box. It was struck goalward. It runs for Zayn Alvarez. Knight, Mullins. First real chance we've seen the Seagulls have at getting at this Aldershot back line. Vickers. Whipped goalward by Slater, deflected behind. Brighton and Hove Albion will have the corner kick. And that move really all began with the long diagonal, which fell at the feet of Eiffel, and Eiffel's cutback hit into a crowded 18-yard box. Cam Perpion stands over the resulting corner kick from the left. First set piece of the afternoon, but before that, some sorting out for the match official to do. And Lachlan Bird and Joe Knight at the heart of it. Perpion to deliver amidst a misty evening here at EBB Stadium. It's in towards the near post, helped on and helped wide, not without a deflection. Taken short to Vickers. Lovely drop of the shoulder to escape up the byline. Vickers crosses and it's hacked clear by the shots. And Jack Byram will give chase. And Slater was aware. Jamie Mullins, so often making things tick in that Albion midfield. The Irishman has assumed the role of captain this season. Slater to Knight. Lovely touch around the corner by Duffus. Lachlan Bird had a hold of him, but it was never finding its way through to an Albion player regardless. Now maybe a chance for Eiffel though, and he's full of running. Off goes Marcus Eiffel. Options in field. One of them is Jamie Mullins. Perpion. Zane Albris. To Knight. Lovely turn by Perpion. Couldn't quite lose the attentions of Lachlan Bird. Still he goes on, and then eventually Ryan Jones had had enough of it and hammered it long. And Joe Knight has flown into a challenge, and Joe Knight could be in trouble. Aldershot don't like it, and the referee doesn't either. And Joe Knight is gone. And he doesn't have too many complaints. And Knight may have got a brief touch on the ball, but the way he went in and the planted foot of Heidi Gandor made that challenge look rather ugly. And the Albion will be down to 10 for around 85 minutes of this one, plus the added time. It was a game that had started in very good spirits, and the Albion had looked promising. It is going to be a very, very different game now. One of those challenges, the moment contact was made, you always thought there would be a chance. There'd be a claret card in the air. And so it proved. Again, I highly doubt that Joe Knight was in any way attempting to hurt or injure Heidi Gandor, rather lunging for the ball, and the pace with which he was sprinting took him with full force through the standing leg of the Lebanon international. And one of those that looked very ugly indeed. Gandor will make way, at least momentarily, to be checked over more thoroughly. And the Albion will have to regroup with 10. Well, Shannon Ruth said his players learn more from these games than almost any other fixtures they play. Amidst the 6 competitions they're playing in, they're probably going to learn an awful lot over the next 80 or so minutes. And could be some hard lessons in there as well. Dan Ellison for Aldershot. James Henry. Already space in the middle, but Perpion intercepts the ball that was intended for Kai Corbett. Simmons. Penman into Mullins, who will find space hard to come by now. Zane Albris. Another sliding challenge, this one from Corbett. And the shouts went up from the Albion dugout. Just a warning this time. The referee wants this taken. Just a few steps over halfway. Farai Hallam is the day's referee. He's assisted by Michael Chard and Martin Blur. Stuart Butler, the fourth official. You can see on the far side. Slater. Mullins looking upfield. Perpion can bring it down. Alvarez on the overlap. Vickers to Mullins. Lovely first time clip out to Eiffel. Albion still playing some brilliant football at times. Eiffel will cross. It's in towards Duffus. And down goes Lachlan Bird, who was trying to cover. And Stafford Shoof will have a goal or a free kick to take. 9 minutes gone. If you're just joining us on My Albion TV, the score is Aldershot 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0, and the red cards went the way of Albion midfielder Joe Knight for a challenge just over the 5-minute mark on Hayley Gandor of Aldershot Town. Albion already drew 2-2 with Woking in this competition. Still have Wealdstone and Maidenhead to play after tonight in the group stages. Lachlan Bird looking through midfield. That was a risky ball, but one the shots got away with. Magoma. A chance perhaps to turn for Tetek. Spread out wide to the left-hand side. It's Ryan Jones. Tetek. Henry James. Or James Henry, rather. Dan Ellison. And now the shots can enjoy some possession. Jones to have a run at Perpion. Alvarez there in support as well. Corbett tried to deliver. Met well by the head of Mullins. Magoma takes over. Tetek, quick feet from the former Reading Academy product. Corbett. One thing you do hope from an Albion perspective is that red card hasn't sucked the life out of them. Coming so early on. Aldershot certainly have, over the last 5 minutes or so, found their stride. Albion always offer a threat though. Mentioned those 4 forwards ahead of kick-off and the 27 goals they've scored between them already this season. It's at the back now with Penman, given away rather cheaply, and it's deflected towards the corner. Gandor had the shot, and enough yellow shirts were back to get in front of it. Aldershot have grown in confidence following that red card, and that was a chance for Gandor. A left-footed effort from just inside the penalty area, and it bounced just wide. Shots corner kick. Coming up from that left-hand side. James Henry to take. Corbett will strike from here. It's a good hit. It's a brilliant save by Cahill. Can't have had a good view of that, Killian Cahill. Corbett lashed it through a crowded penalty area following the corner. And wonderful reactions from Cahill to flick it away left-handed. Alvarez. Slater to Penman. Barham will put the pressure on the Albion back line, and still more than content to play it between themselves. Chipped long by Cahill. Alvarez did well to stab a leg out at it, and Duffus did even better. And the Albion will bring it forward with Ifill. Magoma wasn't letting him get any further. Caelan Vickers. Freddie Simmons. Breaking lines to find Duffus. Alvarez. Wonderful ball out to release Duffus, and all of a sudden the Aldershot pressure is broken. Here's Perpion. Nowhere really to go. Corbett's won it back. Barham can drift away left of centre. Corbett. Rather aimless ball. One of the few in this Aldershot team that can relate to a lot of those Albion youngsters. Kai Corbett came through the academy system himself with Barcelona, first of all clubs. Very briefly during his time as a youngster, part of La Masia Academy, and then with West Ham and Peterborough. Here's Jack Barham. Looking to find the middle of the park. Out to Ryan Jones. And Alvarez sees it out of play, but a foul in the referee, Farai Hallam's eyes. And Aldershot will have a free kick right at the edge of the penalty area. Quarter of an hour gone, still 0-0 here at the EBB Stadium. And Aldershot lining up a set piece. James Henry over it. 6 goals and 5 assists in the National League this season for Aldershot. You wonder where they'd be without those 11 goal contributions. They're down in 17th anyway, and he might fancy his chances of coming up with something from here. He's got Ryan Jones alongside him. Does favour the right boot of James Henry. Rolled to the edge of the area, struck well by Tetek, and Cahill helps it over the top of the crossbar. Was right down the middle, but it had plenty behind it off the boot of Tetek. And Cahill able to see it over. Ryan Jones. Corbett. Digging one out towards Ellison. Nodded down towards the back of the penalty area, and easily scooped up by Cahill. Not the best bit of distribution from Cahill, straight to Stapashoof. James Henry. Can turn and turn again. A touch into space by Ryan Jones. Alvarez is there, and Alvarez toes it out of play. It was a lovely ball over the top by James Henry. Zain Alvarez standing up to the challenge. Is a versatile player. This Albion Academy can play in central midfield, playing today at fullback. And the offside flag up between Corbett and Jones. Mullins really being tested by that Aldershot press. The young Seagulls. Ryan Jones can cross, and it's just beyond Jack Barham at the back post. Slater. Forward by Penman. Straight back on it is Barham. Was looking for Gandor. James Henry can take over. Tetek. Back to Tetek, a midfielder, but playing very deep today for Aldershot. Trying to offer perhaps a bit of late movement from midfield. James Henry. There was a crossing window for Ryan Jones. He chose not to use it. Quick feet from Corbett. And Jones again, held up by Perpion. And you might be able to hear from the Aldershot dugout. I think they wanted that ball to go into the penalty area from Ryan Jones. Apologies for any bad language you might be picking up on our stream. Perpion. Scooped long by Albris. Eiffel trying to hold it up. Magoma sees him off it. Tetek. Scoops out to that right flank. James Henry. Tetek whipped towards goal and Cahill claimed confidently again. Ireland under-21 international has had enough to do in these opening 20 minutes, but every test he's been given, he's answered. And claiming that cross there with confidence. Might be a busy afternoon or evening for him now. Perpion seeing Lachlan Bird off it. Zane Albris to take the throw. Caelan Vickers, rare touch for him in this first half. Tetek trying to bring it away. It's a brilliant lunge from Duffus. Perpion. On goes Cam Perpion. Now Albris. Vickers. Tried to sell the dummy wide. Was never bought by Ryan Jones. And Ryan Jones will try and release Gandor, but there's Jamie Mullins to sweep up. Given away by Cahill. James Henry. Trying to chip it goalwards. Never quite ran for Henry. Corbett. Magoma. Eventually delivered. It's long, but it may be kept in play by Ryan Jones. Drifts just beyond the Aldershot Town wide man. Mentioned the Albion's fine form, 5 wins in a row. It includes 9 goals in their last 3, a 3-0 win. The EFL trophy sandwiched either side of Premier League 2 victories against Derby and Southampton. It is 1 defeat in the last 11, that coming to Burnley in the Premier League 2. Really have been at their very best under Shannon Ruth. But all about development, and tonight could be a crucial development experience, as tough as it may be. Duffus gets a toe in. Vickers, space. Into Simmons, chipped beautifully to Eiffel, back across the face of goal, but the offside flag was up. And Stapashoof will have a goal kick. Tetek. James Henry. Now Lachlan Bird. Jones. Turning was Corbett. Farah Hallam unfazed. Cam Perpion rides the slide challenge from Jones. And Zane Albris, not quite on the same wavelength as Freddie Simmons. Aldershot Town corner kick. Ryan Jones goes short. James Henry, back to Jones. Deliveries looped long and loops out of play. Killian Cahill can get us back underway. It is a credit to Aldershot Town, the strength of the side they've named, how seriously they're taking this competition, even if it is for their own development as well. As I mentioned, they are struggling a little bit in the National League, not right amidst the relegation mix, but are 17th. They've won just one of their last 10. Their big problems has been scoring goals. 5 draws recently, 3 of which were all 0-0. And perhaps a chance they feel to get some of their strikers firing. Jamie Mullins. Penman. Cahill to Mullins. Spins one long toward Lachlan Bird. Dan Ellison will send it back to Stapashoof. Now Ryan Jones. Corbett's made a run through the middle. Sideways to Tetek. Floated wide. Corbett. Jones. Away by Mullins. Aldershot Town will come again with Lachlan Bird, the Australian. Through to the feet of Gandor. Touch was heavy. Gandor's gone down, clutching his face. And still down in a heap. Well, we'll see the incident here. Didn't seem to be a great deal in that. As Simmons stepped across. Gandor, still he's down. Simmons himself looks slightly shaken up. Just 16 years of age, Freddie Simmons. Played up for England under-17s at 15, 2 age groups ahead. Recently captained England under-17s as well. And Heidi Gandor wasn't impressed with the challenge. Chance for Shannon Ruth and Gary Dicker to get some instructions on board for the 21s. Ifill and Perpion had a pretty heated conversation themselves. And finally, Shannon Ruth's voice takes charge. Another look at some of the efforts we've seen this evening and some of the saves from Killian Cahill. A brilliant strike from Corbett. Perhaps the pick of Cahill's bunch in terms of saves. Came through a crowd, took a little nick on its way through, and it was tipped round the post. You can also see Mikey Harris, a member of the Albion coaching staff there on the dugout. Senior development phase lead, was in charge of Brighton and Hove Albion women last year, and Brighton and Hove Albion women are flying high at the top of the WSL. A couple of games coming up for them. They travel to Arsenal this Friday at the Emirates in the Women's Super League, and then they are at the Amex, and tickets available for that. And if you are a Albion season ticket holder, you can take a friend for free to that game at the Amex on the 16th of November, 12:30 kickoff. It's a Saturday game. It's a men's international break to watch an Albion women's side that are competing at the top of the WSL. We'll get restarted with an uncontested drop ball for Killian Cahill to take. Slater. Kaelin Vickers. Jacob Slater again. Phil on that left flank. Perhaps no one's role in this game would have changed greater, though, than Caelan Vickers, who was supposed to be starting just off Joshua Duffus, now seems to have dropped in next to Jamie Mullins in the middle of the park. Whole Albion team will have to adapt, of course, to that early sending off. Cahill trying to fire one through the crowd to Duffus. Brilliant strength from Joshua Duffus against Dan Ellison. Mullins. Halbris wide to Perpion. Mullins holding off Tetek. Vickers loves to operate in that pocket of space, but there was nowhere really for him to go that time. Now Killian Cahill. For the first time in some time, we're seeing Aldershot sit off slightly. Aldershot, rather. Through to Joshua Duffus. His touch was heavy. Tetek seizes possession back for the shots. Ellison. Firing wide for the National League side. Jones will help it to Corbett. Alvarez with the first challenge. Penman helping him out. Charlie Penman again. Signed from Blackpool back in 2021, Penman. Was named as the brightest young talent in the Albion's academy by the Guardian newspaper in 2022 as part of a feature they do, the Next Gen feature, on every Premier League academy, naming the best prospect. Did well to slide that through to Jamie Mullins. Here he is again. Alvarez. Penman. Through to Mullins. Lovely turn. Perpion in space to his right. It's Mullins. It's well weighted. If Perpion can stretch, and he's played it off Lachlan Bird. And it's an Albion corner kick. Looked to be passed right into the path of Cam Perpion. And he managed to keep it in play it off Mullins, and win the Albion a corner kick. And confirmation there of a substitution on the Aldershot side. Hayley Gandor, who's on the end of that tough challenge early on, is replaced by Maxwell Mullins, number 24. Perpion to curl one in. Straight up in the air. Second ball settled by Vickers. Back out to Perpion. Up against Jones, lofted towards the back post. Duffus waiting for it to drop. Magoma's in there. Helped away by Henry. Mullins. Perpion. And now perhaps a chance for Penman. It's given away though. Best spell of this first half since the sending off for Brighton and Hove Albion. If you're wondering who's emerged with no number on their back, that's Freddie Simmons after his clash with Hayley Gandor. Gandor's had to go off. Simmons is on. It's now bandaged up. Lachlan Bird. Stapashoof. Straight up in the air by Henry. Simmons right back in with the challenge. And that's one thing Shannon Ruth will be delighted with. In a physical sense, the Albion have done a fantastic job of standing up to that Aldershot challenge. Cahill has to get it away in a hurry. Perpion. Eiffel in space on the left. Magoma in front of him. Duffus and Perpion waiting in field. Eiffel. Perpion will curl one to the bottom corner, and Stapashoof showed good reflexes to get down and parry it away. Didn't have much backlift on that shot from Cam Perpion. Had to get out his feet quickly. And a quick fire shot tests the reactions of Stapashoof, who was equal to it. Albion corner kick, enjoying some joy at the end of this first half. Just over 10 minutes of it left to play. In the haze, Perpion curls one in. Stapashoof claims and then seems to have pulled up. Well, immediately after claiming that, Stapashoof seemed to grab something and fall to the turf. That didn't look comfortable for the Dutch keeper. Played in the Dutch second tier, pulled that out the sky, seemed fine from then on, and then all of a sudden, as he set off sprinting, it's the calf or the back of the knee, which Stapashoof has strained, and there'll be another break in play for the Albion to get some fluid and some advice on board. I don't think anyone saw the game going quite this way. That has been a challenge for the Albion to react to, and one so far they've reacted very well to. Coming up, a couple more challenges. It's Luton and Reading in the Premier League Cup, a FA Youth Cup equivalent for under-21 sides, and then it's Anderlecht in the Premier League International Cup. This is actually a 4-week break from PL2 action. The Albion don't play next in the Premier League 2 till December 1st when they take on Arsenal. And it is a league the Albion are competing right at the top at this season. They are second in the table, just 2 points behind leaders Manchester City at the moment, with 19 points from their 8 games. Of course, the new format means the end of the regular season means very little. All teams will go into a playoff format come the end of the campaign anyway. That's a long way off. It won't be till springtime that we see that sorted out. Right now, the Seagulls just focusing on the challenge in front of them, which is Aldershot Town. Stapashoof seems fit to carry on. And maybe not. As soon as he's played that out to Magoma, he's pulled up again. And clearly that phase of treatment didn't work. Well, we've had it all today at the EBB Stadium, and now we're going to have a goalkeeper substitution, because Stapashoof can't carry on, and to warm applause, he leaves the field of play. And that should mean it's going to be Marcus Dewhurst.
Coming off is number 1, Jordy van Stapashoof, being replaced by number 28, Marcus Dewhurst.
So Dewhurst is on. He has been the regular starter in the National League. Stapashoof playing just one time in the league this year. Marcus Dewhurst in 15 games in the top flight of the English non-league pyramid. And he is on, the number 28, to take his place in goal. Well, the crack of a firework echoes around the all but vacant EBB Stadium. Aldershot's home since 1927. The previous club, Aldershot FC, resurfacing as Aldershot Town in 1992. And for 60 years it hosted Football League games as Aldershot competed in the top 4 tiers of England. Not so much since. Albion throw on the left. Helped on by Vickers. Duffer's trying to hold it up. Ellison gets a crucial touch, and again. Perpion's closed down Lachlan Bird, and it's back to Marcus Dewhurst. Slater keeping it in play. Magoma. Dan Ellison. Curled long, Ryan Jones can run onto it in space. It's a great touch from Ryan Jones, but there was a foul on Zayn Alvarez before he curled that into the back of the net. A desperate look in the direction of Farai Hallam from Ryan Jones, who took that really well, but fouled Zayn Alvarez in the process. And the free kick coming to the Albion's way, and I think Zayn Alvarez is a little fortunate there. I think Aldershot Town are right to feel slightly hard done by. Miscommunication between Magoma and Dan Ellison has drawn the ire of Aldershot manager Tommy Widrington. Two jumping for the same ball. Albion couldn't take advantage. Certainly seems like the Aldershot Town dugout are taking this one seriously, even if it's from a development perspective, rather. Alvarez. Cahill. Jones to Barham. Haven't seen much of Jack Barham in this first half. James Henry, back to Magoma. Another diagonal from Ellison. Almost got Ryan Jones in just moments ago. Alvarez does well again. Perpion. Ryan Jones thought that had crossed the line, and Lachlan Bird steams into a challenge. It's the first half, rather petering out at the moment. Still locked scoreless. Albion could do with a win after drawing their first game in this competition against Woking. They did get an extra point in that game, as all games level after 90 will go to a penalty shootout for an extra point. Eiffel. Nodded on. Bird back to Ellison. Tetek. Alvarez well positioned again. Not the first time he's picked up on a loose ball. Mullins can scamper away, but there was a foul first on Kai Corbett. Aldershot Town free kick. Ryan Jones and Corbett stand over it. Red and blue shirts starting to gather at the edge of the Albion penalty area. There'll be two in the Albion wall, which is currently being organised by Killian Cahill. It's Perpion and Vickers. Plenty of height in this Aldershot 11, most notably Magoma, who's waiting at the very back of that long train of shirts. Will it be Jones or Corbett to deliver? Jones takes charge. It's in towards Lachlan Bird. It's straight up in the air from Maxwell Mullins. Cahill will take his time over choosing how to distribute this. Magoma and Ellison again in a bit of a muddle, and Ifill can steal the ball back for the Albion. He goes down and he's won a free kick. And Magoma and Ellison just not on the same wavelength when it comes to those long looped balls forward. Off the boot of Killian Cahill. And once more they've allowed the Albion to take advantage. Ifill that time just getting his body in front of Tetek and winning the Seagulls a free kick. And now a chance perhaps to steal ahead just before the half-time break. Cam Perpion can hit them from here. Marcus Dewhurst hasn't had anything to do since coming on as a sub, so perhaps Cam Perpion can catch him rather cold-footed. Jacob Slater has also joined in the conversation, but it favours the right boot of Perpion. Perpion strikes towards the top corner. It wasn't far away. Didn't quite have the necessary dip to bring it under that crossbar. And Dewhurst was scrambling. I'm not sure he would have got there had that been a yard or so lower. Still 0-0. Jones.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 7 minutes additional time.
Corbett. Aaron Jones. Lachlan Bird. Corbett again, Magoma joining in all the way from centre-back out on that right wing. Tetek, here is Magoma. Corbett. Will strike from range and didn't have Cahill too troubled. Aldershot running out of ideas against stern Albion resilience and shifted it left to right before Corbett had had enough and shot himself, and Cahill untroubled by the effort which fizzed wide of his upright. 7 minutes added time coming up at the end of this first half. The Reds and a couple of injuries, no doubt the cause of that. Magoma putting down Ifill. Albion free kick just a few steps over halfway on the left. Mullins fouled by Barham. Whistle comes to the Albion's aid, but I don't think Barham or Tetek, who were there closing down Mullins, can have too much to complain about. Meanwhile, Freddie Simmons has his bandage now lodged curiously on the back of his head. Slater, Mullins, fouled again by Tetek, and Tommy Widrington is unhappy. Mullins again. This time no whistle comes to his aid. James Henry bringing it through the thirds. Corbett drags his shot and it almost deflects off Maxwell Mullins and in. Not sure Mullins knew a great deal about it. Corbett was shooting himself there, I think, and Barham and Mullins were in the 6-yard box. It hit Mullins and bounced wide. And the Albion will have a goal kick. Eiffel trying to bring it down. Tetek takes over. Ellison straight to Vickers. Mullins on the charge. Perpion in space to his right. Mullins to Cam Perpion. Is there a shooting chance? It's saved well. It drops to Duffus. Brilliant block, Magoma. And the final effort is skewed wide by Slater. Well, best chance for either side of this game. Mullins sliding in Perpion, did so well to work the space, and the substitute goalkeeper Dewhurst saved, then Magoma blocked, and Slater's effort the worst of the three. Corbett. Jack Barham. Curled towards Mullins. Given away by Vickers, who then slid in on Barham, and Vickers will go into the book as well. Aldershot Town free kick. First yellow card of the afternoon. If you're just joining us on My Albion TV, it's Aldershot 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0. Albion had a player sent off in Joe Knight just over 5 minutes into this one for a foul on Hayley Gandor. And since then, the Albion have held firm defensively, they've held their shape, and they've offered moments and glimpses of hope on the counter through the likes of Eiffel and Perpion. Aldershot Town have enjoyed plenty of possession around the Albion penalty area, but are yet to hurt the Seagulls. They might do just that from this free kick. Two standing over it. One of them is James Henry. Other Ryan Jones. Red and blue shirts crowding around the penalty spot. Rolled short to Corbett. Corbett to hit one, and, well, the less said about that from an Aldershot Town perspective, the better. That's gone over the goal and out the stadium. And in the last minute of added time, Brighton Hove Albion will have a goal kick. Cahill. Away by Ellison. Penman wins the second ball for the Albion. Slater can try and hook it long. Seagulls throw, if there's time to take it. Farai Hallam checks his watch, puts the whistle to his lips and brings the first half of action to a close. The main talking point, Joe Knight's red card. Neither side were able to find a breakthrough, and half-time here. It's Aldershot Town 0, Brighton Hove Albion 0.
Aldershot Town's next fixture is this coming Saturday, the 9th of November, when Wilston are visitors in the Vanarama National League. The match kicks off at the earlier than usual time of 12:30 and will be preceded by our annual service of remembrance. So please try and arrive in good time before the commemoration begins. On Tuesday the 12th of November we travel to Bashley in the Hampshire Senior Cup, kick-off at 7:45, and then on Saturday the 16th travel to Gateshead before returning to the Ev Stadium for the visit of Altrincham on Saturday the 23rd of November. We have a midweek away game at Dagenham and Redbridge on Tuesday the 26th. And the Shots Away travel group are running coaches to those away games at Bashley, Gateshead and Dagenham. The coach departs the Ev Stadium at 7 a.m. at 5 p.m. on Tuesday the 12th of November for the visit to Bashley, with the cost being £30. For Gateshead on 6th of November, the coach leaves at 7 a.m. with the cost being £52 for members and £55 for non-members. And for Dagenham, the coach departs at 3:45 with the fare being £27 for members and £30 for non-members. Please email shotsawaytravelgroup@gmail.com to book your place on either coach. And we would like to thank you all very much for coming along to the Ev Stadium this evening. Tonight's attendance is 317.
I was a timid rock willing boy. She was tattooed and ready to deploy. Gave me reservation in the light, 'cause she could be the dangerous type. But I took caution, 'cause something about that yin and the yang was pushing my boundaries out beyond my imagining. While you were out there chewing on back for probable cause, I let go. While you were out there weighing odds, I wasn't floating on a rush. While you were out there looking like that, you struck my name from the camouflage. I wasn't lost in a collage. I wasn't I had to do it, had no other choice. You got to listen to the inside voice. Well, the train will get you there fast, but it won't guarantee a long last. Sometimes it takes a little bit of courage and doubt to push your boundaries out beyond your imagining. While you were out there chewing on fat for probable cause, I let go. While you were out there weighing odds, I wasn't floating on a rush. While you were out there looking like that, you struck my name from the camouflage. I wasn't lost in a collage. I wasn't floating. While you were out there chewing on fat for probable cause, I let go. While you were out there weighing odds, I wasn't floating on a rush. While you were out there looking like that, walked right out of camouflage. I wasn't locked in no collage. I wasn't floating.
Just a reminder that should the scores remain at level after 90 minutes this evening, both teams will be awarded 1 point, but then there will be a penalty shootout, the winners of whom will be awarded a second point.
Welcome back to second half coverage of Aldershot Town versus Brighton and Hove Albion in the National League Cup on My Albion TV. 0-0 at the break then, and despite being down to 10 men, the Albion providing very stern resistance for this Aldershot Town attacking outfit. So much quality, so many attackers named in the 11 for Aldershot Town, but Brighton and Hove Albion have had chances of their own on the counter-attack, and despite the early call of referee Farai Hallam to send off Joe Knight, have been more than active participants in this game. 45 minutes left then for the Albion to keep their unbeaten streak going and perhaps even add to their 5 wins in a row in all competitions. But it's Aldershot Town to get the second half underway, and it is James Henry standing over the ball in the centre circle. And finally, we are back underway in the second half. Albion fire it forward towards Joshua Duffus. Mullins jumping for the second ball, was charged into the back off by Jack Barham and is down in a heap. And Barham appealing to the referee. Will be an Albion free kick. The bandage of Freddie Simmons readjusted during that half-time break. More of a hat than a bandage as that first half wore down. I wonder what the message from Shannon Ruth was at half-time. Albion, such a different type of game today. Whether it was to push on and try and nick something or to hold what they have and protect their unbeaten records. Killian Cahill curling one wide. Barham was right on the toes of Zayn Alvarez, who did well, not once but twice. Not a bad turn from Duffus. Perpion's kept it ticking. Vickers wants it in behind. Ellison gets the first. Ifill couldn't control the second ball. Marcus Dewhurst, substitute goalkeeper. That's the other big talking point after the injury to Stapashoof. Ryan Jones with a throw for Aldershot Town. Leans back and hurls it down the line. Headed away by Simmons. Stealing in was Ifill. He goes down under the challenge of Tetek, and it will be another Albion free kick. Been a busy evening this for referee Farai Hallam. He's had a lot to deal with. Simmons waits for Maxwell Mullins to close it down and then sneaks it away to Penman. And Penman finds touch. Magoma will leave the throw to Ryan Jones. Tetek. Bird. Ryan Jones in field. Corbett turning away from Mullins. Has held on to it well there and kept his balance. Kai Corbett. Started to see Magoma creep forward in that first half. He's here again. Just a step over halfway. Ellison. Albrus read it well. Crossed in towards the 6-yard box. Simmons has to put it behind. Aldershot Town corner kick. Didn't have too many of those in the first half. Plenty of free kicks to try and deliver. We're never really able to test the Albion. It's James Henry and Ryan Jones again, and it's rolled short. Corbett changing the angle, delivering towards Ellison, and he'll glance a header over the top. A half chance, but Ellison rose above the crowd to try and divert that goalward. And in the end, wasn't able to test Killian Cahill. Cahill will get us back underway after conversation with Penman. Sent long towards Perpion. Lachlan Bird, powerful header upfield. Might bounce for Maxwell Mullins. There's Zane Alvarez to deal with it. Mullins. Ryan Jones. Aldershot back on it now. Tetek. Jones blocked by Albress, who's had a fantastic game doing exactly that. One-on-one defending. Up against wingers and forwards, double his age. He stood up to the task and has not let anything come into the penalty area cheaply. Duffus working hard against Ellison. James Henry. Aaron Jones to Henry. This time the delivery's better. It's across the near post. And Penman takes charge. He does very well. And is applauded by his goalkeeper, Killian Cahill. So easy to concede an own goal in scenarios like that. Penman running back, facing his own goal. The ball rolled right in front of him, but he sent it into touch. And with red and blue shirts lurking, it's only an Aldershot Town corner kick. And that's thanks to the work of Charlie Penman. Corner comes in after being rolled short. Corbett. Bird. Might run for Mullins. He will hit it. And he will fizz it wide, but not without a touch from Zane Albress, who is there again. No surprise that James Henry's on it. As I mentioned, already contributed to 11 goals in the National League for Aldershot. Out to Ryan Jones. Albress, another header won by Zane Albress. Poor effort from Corbett. Albress is there again, and Brighton and Hove Albion win a free kick. Well, there's been plenty of good defensive performances for the Seagulls, but maybe no more so than Zane Albress. Just 51 minutes gone, still plenty of football left to be played, but he's been fantastic and worked incredibly hard. Eiffel brought down by Magoma. Sliding in was Ellison. That might release Joshua Duffus to hit one. Saved by Dewhurst. Where will it land? Vickers through the crowd, offside flag up. Eiffel had already strayed beyond the last man. There was a real chance there for the Seagulls when Ellison slid in carelessly. Duffus brought it away. Chose to use Eiffel as a decoy. Forced the save from Dewhurst. And Vickers saw his effort blocked by Magoma. Aaron Jones, pinched by Eiffel. Duffus uses his hips to turn Tetek and find Cam Perpion. Throws a step over at Lachlan Bird. On goes Cam Perpion. Albress. Mullins. Side-footed away by Ellison. And Jack Barham will give chase against Penman, and Penman coolly sees it back to Cahill. Aaron Jones. Magoma. Vickers gets there first. Perpion. Vickers, lovely footwork. Magoma's brought him down and won't go into the book, it seems, for Farai Hallam. Took that on his back foot in sensational fashion, Vickers. Didn't have a lot of time to think about it. Was rolled into him under pressure and allowed it to run across his body and draw Magoma in to make the foul. Simmons. Now Tetek. Space ahead of Aaron Jones. Tetek straight to Zayn Alvarez, who is there to read it again. Mullins. It's basically had to be a one-man central midfield today, Jamie Mullins. Ryan Jones. Maxwell Mullins for Aldershot Town. This is patient from the National League side. Aaron Jones eventually runs out of patience and runs in to Caelan Vickers. Ellison, clever chop round Duffus. Barham. Ryan Jones up against Alvarez, this time does get the better of him, but there's Jamie Mullins to slide it away. Really opening up in this second half. Back and forth, end to end at the moment. And that time, Jamie Mullins sliding across from midfield to prevent any further damage done by Aldershot Town. This is a Aldershot Town side that have done well against National League or against Premier League 2 outfits. They absolutely thumped Derby County in their first game in this competition, 3-0. Aaron Jones and Ryan Jones, the scorers that day. Here's James Henry. Tetek. Now Ryan Jones, he's past Perpion. It's lifted into a dangerous area. Lachlan Bird off the upright. Will he get another go? Blocked by Joshua Duffus, I believe, in the end, that stood across it. Yes, it is the forward Duffus that's seen it behind. Bird's header seemed destined for the bottom corner, and the follow-up wouldn't have been a bad effort either, but Duffus able to deny him. Back in again towards Magoma. Bird's battling for it. I feel can see it away. Well, Duffus has pressed relentlessly, closed down, and there in his own 6-yard box, so far from his natural habitat on a football field, he has slid in front of Lachlan Bird to deny an effort on Killian Cahill's goal. Here's Duffus, working hard at the other end. Mullins. Alvarez given away. Ryan Jones has Corbett in field, goes back instead to the Australian Lachlan Bird. Good touch by Maxwell Mullins. Vickers can hammer it clear. It's become a scrappier, messier game, that's for certain. But perhaps slightly more entertaining as a result of that. Lovely ball out to Aaron Jones. Throws a dummy at Jacob Slater. James Henry into Tetek, who sweeps it behind. I think that was a cross from the Serbian Youth International. I didn't pick out anyone in red and blue. Looks like the Albion are readying a substitution in front of Shannon Ruth's dugout. Maxwell Mullins closing down Cahill. Ellison nodding forward. Slater. Now Alvarez trying to see this one out. Barham on his back. Good strength from Zayn Alvarez. Perpion. Duffus has misjudged it. Magoma. To Bird, and Duffus drops Bird to the turf. Aldershot Town started to enjoy possession and starting perhaps just to wear this young Seagulls team out. You can see the tired legs starting to increase in number as the yellow shirts dart about, forced to do a lot of chasing today. Corbett, Tetek, now James Henry. And Tetek. Alvarez closing down Ryan Jones, pops it between his legs. The crowd like that. Ryan Jones chipping goalward where it's nodded on and onto the roof of Killian Cahill's net. Well, Ryan Jones has got very little change out of Zayn Alvarez this evening, the right back. That time left him for dead, poked it between his legs, went round him and clipped a good ball in, but perhaps they did a little more height to reach those in the 6-yard box. Approaching the hour mark. Aldershot 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. Albion down to 10 for the last 55 minutes. Corbett to Perpion. Mullins urged to get up by the referee Farai Hallam. Corbett. Now Ryan Jones might fancy another run at Alvarez. Jones held up by Alvarez, who wins the battle this time, but it's turning into a fascinating one. A unique concept this for a new competition rolled out by the Premier League and the National League combined. 32 teams, 16 from the Premier League 2, 16 from the National League, 4 groups of 8. The 2 best placed going through automatically to the quarterfinals. All the prize money and all the gate money from these fixtures will go to the National League clubs and the National League clubs only, regardless who wins the entire competition or each individual round. And is part of the scheme. Here's Tetek. Kai Corbett to line one up from 20 yards and send one curling over. Another Albion goal kick. If we do stay this way, locked at 0-0, we will go straight to a penalty shootout with no extra time. Not because this is a knockout fixture, but because there is an extra point up for grabs, an extra point the Albion earned in their first game in this competition against Woking. Killian Cahill spraying one long, trying to find Duffus, who came from an offside position. You wonder whether Shannon Ruth has changed his mind, because understandably perhaps this young Seagulls team are just starting to lose their way in this game. Despite being down to 10, they never felt too troubled in that first half, and they were still stringing possession together when they got the ball. It's been a while since they've done that in this second. Aaron Jones. Blocked by Slater. James Henry. And there's Cahill to pluck it out the sky. Tenman. Helped on by Eiffel. Back to Dewhurst. Again, Aldershot winning the ball back just as quickly as they lost it. Lofted into the channel. Corbett, good first touch. Alvarez tries to battle for the second ball. Barham could be in. Rolled along the face of goal. There's James Henry. And there's the opener. Aldershot Town's experienced head gives them the lead. 6 goals in the National League and his first in the National League Cup. And it's been coming at the start of this second half. Jack Barham rolled it into a vacant penalty area, and James Henry stroked it into the corner to make it Aldershot Town 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 0. And after fierce resistance, the 10 men are behind. Well, you hate to say it had been coming, but it really had. Albion looking out on their feet for good reason. They had been chasing and fighting and scrapping for every loose ball, and it just felt as though they were that half-second slower. And maybe the subs coming on now were intended to come on just moments before that goal went in.
The substitution for Brighton and Hove Albion, coming off number 32, Cam.
So Cam Perpion
Number 72, Harry Howell.
being replaced by Harry Howell, confirmation of that sub. Albion will need to find a goal from somewhere now. Here's Harry Howell. Trying to volley one wide. Vickers. To Eiffel. Will plays it off Aaron Jones and wins the Seagulls the throw. Thrown in field. Harry Howell. First touches it to send it out wide to Caelan Vickers. Sees it away from James Henry. Eiffel, flag stays down. Duffus, Eiffel, back towards Duffus. Was it one pass too many for the Albion youngsters? And then Eiffel fouls Tetek. Aldershot Town take it quickly. Magoma. Ryan Jones again. Aldershot seemed buoyed with confidence following that goal, and Ryan Jones is breaking into the penalty area. Vickers can slide it away. A couple of half-hearted shouts and appeals for a penalty for Aldershot. Waved away by Farai Hallam. Ellison. Bird can latch onto that. Corbett. Cross towards the back post. Aaron Jones helping it back in field, and there was Jacob Slater to block. Another Aldershot Town corner kick. James Henry's goal, the only difference. A man that's made over 200 appearances in the Championship and took that very coolly indeed. In fact, he was playing last year for a side that are currently playing in the Championship, Oxford United, promoted from League One. Dropped all the way down to the National League. Lachlan Bird. Corbett, Tetek. Duffus gets a crucial stud to that. And Simmons can sweep up. Goal cruel on the Albion, who have worked desperately hard. Might just have sucked the life out of them a little. Duffus willing himself forward to close down again. Slid in behind, Aaron Jones, back across the face of goal, another effort. This one spins into the arms of Cahill. Jack Barham really should have done better from there. And it really should be 2-0 Aldershot Town. Eiffel. Alvarez. Eiffel slid into from behind by Ryan Jones, and the Albion dugout didn't like that one either. Farai Hallam marching Ryan Jones away. I don't think he really ever had a chance to win that, Ryan Jones. Eiffel was better positioned, and it's a yellow card. Get another look at it there. Don't think he was ever favourite for that. And he goes into the book. Number 11 for Aldershot Town. Albion will have to find some inspiration from somewhere as we see this chance for Jack Barham again. What a chance it was. Just couldn't sort his feet out. He's a prolific striker at non-league level, Jack Barham. He was the hero of Maidstone's promotion to the National League a few seasons ago over in Kent. Magoma. Dan Ellison to Lachlan Bird. Mullins sees it away. Magoma. Curled wide by Ellison. Aaron Jones. Lost out to Slater. Vickers. Duffus will bounce it off to Mullins. Looked back for Duffus, but it was a tired pass. Speaking of tired passes, Lachlan Bird gives it straight to Harry Howe. And Magoma steps out to win it back for the shots. Tetek. You can hear manager Tommy Widrington screaming at his side to move it quicker. A man that made 430 senior appearances in the EFL himself. The likes of Southampton, Grimsby and Port Vale. Certainly knows a thing or two about breaking into first team football. Aaron Jones, James Henry, Magoma. Now Dewhurst. Ellison. Miss hit, strikes the face of Slater. Aaron Jones. Chipping one into Barham. Jones again, Tetek. Corbett. More than content to send it backwards. Tetek to Aaron Jones and gets right underneath the cross and sails it away. And behind for an Albion goal kick. Can keep up to date with everything Brighton and Hove Albion Academy on the men's and women's side by following at BHAFC Academy on X. It's the best way to stay updated with the young Seagulls and their exploits. There has been plenty of good news recently in that department. Even breaking today, Rory McConville, regular starter at centre-back for the Seagulls under-21s, has been called up to the senior Northern Ireland international side for the first time. Huge achievement for him out of the upcoming internationals. Harry Howe. James Henry. Barham sprinting wide, and Barham will cross. It's loose in the 18-yard box. Albrecht deals with it. Howe trying to chest it down. Just over a quarter of an hour left to play. Still just the one goal in it, but it is all Aldershot Town at the moment. A goal has made the difference. Ryan Jones bouncing one behind. And it's been given as a corner kick. James Henry collects, the goal scorer. Tetek, space to shoot if he so fancies. Instead it's wide. And Lachlan Bird couldn't keep it in play. Mentioned those Albion forwards and their fine form. Just haven't been able to quite deliver today, as Jacob Slater is penalised for a foul throw. Well, interestingly, I thought the offence would occur if that ball came from in front of his head. There's no doubt it came from behind. It was an unusual throw, to say the least, but it certainly seemed like it came from behind his head. Aldershot Town will take over in a very promising position. Aaron Jones. Tetek. Corbett to strike. It's a good hit, and Cahill had to be alive to pick it up on a bobbling surface. Corbett's tried his luck a few times this evening. Not to much success, but that one was the closest he's come, and Cahill measured the bounces, saw it into his chest. Ifill running with Magomo, has a hold of Ifill's shirt, and the free kick has gone Aldershot Town's way. Seems like 6 of one, half dozen of the other, but it's the shots that bring it away. James Henry, coolly done again, and almost picks out the top right of Killian Cahill's goal. Is going to be another Aldershot Town substitution. In fact, 3 of them. There might be one on the Albion side as well. So Tetek is coming off for Aldershot. And we're also going to see Jack Barham off. And Aaron Jones off. Those are the 3 off. We'll wait confirmation of the 3 that come on. One of them will be Emmanuel Marja, number 32. Tough tackling central midfielder. And we're also going to see number 21, Ashley Akpan, a wing-back, full-back, can play anywhere up the left.
Aldershot Town in the 78th minute. Coming off number 17, Aaron Jones, number 22, Jack Barham, and number 34, Deanne Tetek, being replaced by number 20, Hayden Vaughan, 21...
And Hayden Vaughan was the other player that came on. So it's another big challenge on the far side, which Aldershot Town are unhappy with. Lachlan Bird down. Lachlan Bird still down. Albion readying substitutions of their own. So I didn't have the clearest view of that incident. We were keeping track of substitutions here on my Albion TV. Farai Hallam getting an earful though from the Aldershot dugout and crowd alike, and Lachlan Bird struggling to get back to his feet. Looks like Albion are preparing Romero Moulton and one other. St Albarus, Harry Howe, lovely flick over the top of Ryan Jones. Akpan closing down Slater. Ifill been trapped every step of the way by Magoma. Substitute Maja rather, finds the feet of Penman. Vickers tried to chip it away. Mullins has lost out. Now Ifill trying to lead a charge forward. Howe, Duffus in space if Howe could pick him out. Howe looking for Duffus. Duffus is clear of Akpan. And he slid it through to Ifill, and Ifill's tucked it into the back of the net. Eyes over to the assistant, but it's not going to be given as offside. And the Albion have pulled level. The 10 men of the Albion have pulled level with 10 to play. Well, where did that come from? Harry Howell, a lovely through ball to Duffus. And Duffus has guided it through to Eiffel. It's the same combination we saw over the last week, combining to devastating effect. And it's Aldershot Town 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 1. That has stunned the shots, a shot out the blue, if you will. This second half had only belonged to the National League side, with the Albion tiring. But Harry Howell's delightful through ball has given the Albion hope of taking this to a penalty shootout. All it takes, one moment of real quality. And Albion had earned the right to play that pass in by hanging in this game, working hard defensively, regardless of the circumstance. And Duffus did so well to find Eiffel. The arms went up for offside, but no chance. Eiffel starting his run behind the last man and rolling it into the empty net. Cahill to take a goal kick. Eiffel pulled to the turf by Magoma. Might bounce back for the path to Jamie Mullins. It's 3-on-3 for the Albion. Duffus in behind again. It's Joshua Duffus. It couldn't be two. It is two. The Albion, in a matter of moments, have flipped this game on its head. Duffus involved in both. And that is his 9th of this campaign. 2 brilliant through balls, 2 fantastic Joshua Duffus runs, and 2 easy Albion finishes. It's Aldershot Town 1, Brighton and Hove Albion 2, and who saw this coming 5 minutes ago? This team just don't know when to say die. And they are fighting tooth and nail to make it 6 wins in a row in all competitions. This is a remarkable turnaround. I think even Shannon Ruth and the Albion players would admit, for most of this second half, they have been out of sight. They've been fading out the game, and Aldershot Town have been taking control. But 2 moments of real quality have dragged them ahead, and for their defensive efforts and how hard they've worked, it's impossible to say they don't deserve it. Duffus is going to make way after scoring. Owusu's going to come on. And Aldershot Town are going to try and drag themselves back in this. Albion free kick. Challenge came in late. In the middle on Jamie Mullins. Just got there ahead of Corbett. And Corbett still on his toes. Nothing too sinister. Mullins will be slow to get back up. You can guarantee that. Strikes the arm of Harry Howell. Whistle never went. Aldershot Town will play on. Akpan. James Henry. Harry Howell scrapping for it. Albion need to focus, need to concentrate now. The emotions will be running high after that quick fire double. Ryan Jones has caused the problems today. He'll come in forward again. Ryan Jones across the face of goal, brilliantly dealt with by Slater. Howell has a hack, Marja. James Henry. Akpan's delivery, it's headed in, is it? No, it's off the upright and away. Maxwell Mullins smashing a header against the post. And it seems so certainly to be going post and in. Instead, it's off the upright and away. Ryan Jones. Marja. A warning sign for the Albion moments ago. Maxwell Mullins, can he deliver another? He's trying to turn Owusu. He's gone down, and the decision is an Aldershot Town penalty kick. Well, Maxwell Mullins, who clanged the post just a moment ago, has won his side a penalty. This game really now has had everything. Good strength up against Owusu, turned the Albion's midfielder, who dragged him down in the penalty area. And Aldershot Town gifted a route back in the game from 12 yards. And no surprise, it will be James Henry. Mentioned his experience, and no one out there more experienced. A century of appearances for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Over 200 times he's played in the English second tier for various clubs. And youngster Killian Cahill will try and deny him in goal. It's James Henry, and he made no mistake. His second of the game, Aldershot Town second, and it's 2-2 at the EBB Stadium. Dispatched it midway up the left-hand side. Nice height for the goalkeeper, but Cahill had gone the wrong way. And Henry carves it in the corner. Albion are going to bring off Zayn Alvarez for Callum Mackley.
Being replaced by number 79, Callum Mackley.
Mackley made his debut for the under-21s just over 3 weeks ago against Reading in the Premier League Cup. Hasn't featured too much for Shannon Ruth's side, stepping up from the 18s. Harry Howe being forced to track back against Ryan Jones. Round the corner, Jones taking over. Trying to make his way to the byline and overrunning it. Well, you wondered whether the early Albion red card might ruin this as a spectacle. Certainly hasn't been the case whatsoever. What a game. 4 goals, a red card, a penalty, and so much more to unpack. It's been played with a real intensity. That was one of the fears when the FA, the Premier League, the National League announced a new competition, was how seriously would teams take it. I think tonight is a fantastic advert for this competition in terms of how seriously they are taking it. Magoma. Now Ellison. Bird. To Marja. James Henry. Scorer of 2 tonight for Aldershot Town. Marja. Magoma. Aldershot Town creeping forward rather ominously towards that Albion penalty area. Just a minute and a half left to play in normal time. Ryan Jones full of running, full of tricks. On goes Jones. Away by Simmons, settled by Corbett. And Cahill was there. Albion goalkeeper behind it again. Ryan Jones creating it. And Corbett striking, but Cahill never troubled. Smashed long by Cahill. Akpan will keep it in play. Into the 90th minute we go. James Henry to Akpan. Ryan Jones to cross again. It's in towards Vaughan. It's away. And Eiffel will help it further wide to Akpan. Might deliver again. Akpan chipping it goalwards. Cahill, good contact on it. Corbett to Ryan Jones. Still Aldershot Town come forward. Vickers away this time, but there's no outlet for the Seagulls. And the shots will come right back at them. Magoma.
The fourth official has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes.
4 minutes added time coming up at the end of this one. Marja, Corbett. Ryan Jones losing out to Harry Howell. Just sends it down the line. Fading in play. Lovely bit of footwork from Ellison. And again we'll launch it long. And Akpan was offside as he brought it down on the right. Brighton and Hove Albion will have a free kick and a chance to take a breather. So Cahill to send this away and send this up the right area of the pitch for the 10 men of the Albion. I felt there couldn't be another twist. He's won a free kick off Magoma, who has been, it's fair to say, all over our Marcus Eiffel like a rash today. Has barely given him a second to breathe. It's been fantastic one-on-one defending. At times, it's probably crossed a few lines, and that time it did in the eyes of Farah Hallam, who gives the free kick the Albion's way. Committing a fair number of bodies forward for this Brighton and Hove Albion into stoppage time, but it could be a chance to take 3 points rather than have the possibility of taking 2 with the bonus penalty shootout. It's Mullins and it's Howell over it. Now, Howell departs. What can Mullins come up with from here? Scooped over the top by Mullins. Up in the air by Corbett. Away, but only as far as Caelan Vickers. Caelan Vickers, on he goes, and it's in! He might just have won it for the Albion in stoppage time. The Albion's in form forward with a late winner. Mullins curling one over the top. Aldershot Town never cleared their lines properly. Aldershot couldn't bring him down. His feet were too quick and his finish was too pure. Kissed the bar on its way down. And Vickers on the score sheet again to maybe, just maybe, win it for the Seagulls. Aldershot Town 2, Brighton and Hove Albion 3. And what a comeback, what a fight back, what a game in North Hampshire. Aldershot will have less than a minute to prevent Vickers from winning this for the Seagulls. We were all poised for the penalty shootout. Managers likely had both picked their 5 takers, and Aldershot will have to launch it forward now. Ryan Jones, round Howell, into the penalty area, away. Corbett won't shoot, maybe James Henry will. Tracked by the Albion every step of the way, out to Ryan Jones. Mackley fighting for it. 15 seconds for Aldershot to try and get something out of this one. The Albion will retreat into the penalty area. Launched in by Ryan Jones, headed on towards the middle of the penalty area. James Henry will run onto it, blocked brilliantly by Eiffel. Chance perhaps for Akpan, it's blocked again by the Seagulls. They're clinging on for dear life. Another Ryan Jones' long throw being wound up. Thrown this time to the near post, Howl away. Still the whistle doesn't go. Akpan. And that will do it. 10 men from the 5th minute onwards, but Shannon Ruth's side produce a remarkable fight back. And late dramatics from Caelan Vickers means it finishes here in the National League Cup. Brighton and Hove Albion 3, Aldershot Town 2.
Well, thank you all for your support here at the Edge Stadium this evening. The next Aldershot Town fixture here is coming Saturday.